Hello again. I am in this video going to go over how to optimize your digestion at meal times. Okay, and according to Ayurveda, meal routine is super important to helping you digest. And we are not what we eat. Okay, that's a common phrase, right? You are what we eat, or we are what we eat. But we are not what we eat. We are what we digest. And if we're not properly digesting our food, then we are hindering not only our energy, but everything we eat. What we eat becomes our bodies, becomes our tissues, our organs. And so when you think of it that way, what we eat is so important. And being able to not only ingest it, but then having the body be able to transform that food through digestion into nutrition for our tissues is really important, right, to our health and well-being. And so we want to optimize that digestion. We want to help the body be able to transform that good food into good nutrition for our bodies. So I've got some strategies on how to do that in this video. And I want to start by saying that food is a gift. Yeah? It's really easy in our culture to go to the grocery store and not have any idea where our food comes from. And just make the assumption that it's always available and it always will be available. And hopefully it will be. And at the same time, part of good digestion is acknowledging that food is a gift, that it's a gift, that we are so blessed to have so much choice and to be able to go to the grocery store and get good quality food, buy good quality food. And with that, giving gratitude for the resources we have to be able to buy that good quality food. In my case, to be living in a town where I have many organic, whole food grocery stores to have access to. And so every step of the process of eating is important in digestion. So one, giving gratitude, knowing where your food comes from, right? Starting to make that inquiry, choosing high quality food. And then preparing the food, right? When we cook, taking the time to cook and putting gratitudes and good energy into the food, being with the food, not thinking of cooking as a pain in the butt or something we have to do, but really finding that we are nourishing ourselves. So remembering that food is a gift and we're nourishing our bodies. Yeah, and that is important. It's an act of self-love, not only for ourselves. If we're cooking for others, it really is an act of love to prepare food, delicious, healthy food, to nourish our family and our friends. So having an awareness of that and a gratitude for that. According to Ayurveda, and we'll get into the specifics now of meal routines. This is specific to meal routines. So breakfast should be before 8:30 a.m. ideally. And it is ideal to do some gentle exercise, which I'll cover in the daily routine, or maybe you've already watched that video. So doing some gentle exercise before breakfast is a great way to regulate blood sugar levels and to get the digestion going for breakfast. So breakfast no later than 8:30. Breakfast should be small, okay? This idea that breakfast is the most important meal of the day, according to Ayurveda, that's just not the case, yeah? Breakfast should be small, just enough to get you comfortably to lunch, right? We should feel hungry for our next meal. And so we shouldn't be afraid of feeling hungry and overeat. We should eat just enough to get us to the next meal at breakfast. And after we eat breakfast, we want to sit for 5 to 10 minutes and relax, right? Bringing on that rest and digest, parasympathetic nervous system for optimal digestion. Remember that breakfast, right? The word breakfast is composed of two words, breaking fast. So we don't want to have eaten bedtime snack at 10 p.m. and then eat again at 7 or 8 a.m., right? We want to attempt to give our bodies 12 hours from the time of last meal in the evening to breakfast. Okay, so keep that in mind. After breakfast, wait 3 to 4 hours until lunch, okay, without snacking. This idea that we should eat several small meals a day does not help our digestive system. It takes 6 hours for a meal to digest, okay? So if we wait 3 to 4 hours, that digestion process is well on its way, okay? If we only wait 2 hours, then it's very soon after that first meal, and the digestive system gets bogged down. Okay, think of if you have a campfire, and at first, it might be your bonfire or campfire might be strong, and as it dies down, if you keep adding like big logs, too soon, what happens is the fire dims and tends to go out, right? There has to be a timing of adding wood to the fire to keep it steady and strong. Same thing for our digestion. Think of our digestion as a digestive fire. In fact, in Ayurveda, they call it Agni, which is the word for fire, right? The Sanskrit word for fire, Agni, digestive fire. And we want that fire to be strong and steady. And if we keep adding food, just piling food on top, every 2 hours, the system gets bogged down and the digestive fire begins to weaken. Okay, and that's when we start feeling full, bloated, gassy, heavy, or those are some of the things we can start to feel. So, waiting 3 to 4 hours to allow your digestive system to really kick in is important. So that brings us to lunch. And, by the way, as I mentioned earlier, allowing ourselves to feel hungry. Yeah? Hunger is a good thing, right? We want to feel that. It means that our digestion is working. It means our digestive fire is strong. So we want to have that feeling of hunger before a meal. So lunch should be between noon and 2 p.m. ideally. That is the hottest time of day, pitta time of day. That's when our digestion is strongest. So that is also the time for the biggest meal of the day. In our culture, we tend to do dinner as the biggest meal of the day, and that is also contributes to hindering our digestion because it's much more optimal to eat the big meal at the hottest time of the day when our digestion is strongest and give our digestive system waking hours to process that food. Okay, so after lunch and the biggest meal of the day, be sure to sit for 5 to 10 minutes, allowing that parasympathetic nervous system to kick in. And then, because it's the biggest meal of the day, you can do what's called left side lying, which is lying on your left side for 15 to 20 minutes. And that allows, again, the parasympathetic nervous system to kick in. A lot of cultures around the world have siesta right after lunch, right? For this very reason, to rest and digest. And also, lying on your left side allows the stomach and the pancreas to hang fully and allows them to better um, process the food and allows the digestive juices to really work on that food. And it also helps, lying on the left side helps to move things through the digestive tract. Okay. And then it's a good idea, if you still are feeling heavier or feeling like you need to move, to go for a gentle walk. Walking helps to stimulate peristalsis. Peristalsis is the movement of the digestive tract to push the food or push the bolus of food down the tract and get processed. So I know some of you right now might be like, oh, that's great for people who, work from home or have a lot of time for lunch. Unfortunately, a lot of folks feel that they have to eat on the fly, eat during meetings, eat at their desk while they're doing other work. I'm inviting you to create the time in your workday to at least take a half hour to be with your food, to eat your food away from your desk. It might mean making a bold request of your boss, and it may not be possible. If it is at all possible, you will be doing yourself and your digestion a big favor. You will be committing to your health and wellness. And so I strongly encourage you, if you can carve out the time to do all of that, or at least be with your food, sit for 5 to 10 minutes in a calm, peaceful environment, that will go a long, long way. And I know in our modern world, we're busy, high achievers who have got a lot going on. There's not always that time. And sometimes, though, on the other hand, we have self-limiting beliefs. We just automatically assume that it's not possible. So I want to plant the seed for you to have an inquiry as to what is possible. Where can I make the time? What choices could I tweak for myself? Okay. And then I encourage you to wait 3 to 4 hours again. No snacking, if possible. Now, if you are really hungry, I want you to nourish yourself, because that is important. What I like to do for my constitution is if I am going to have a snack, I don't snack between meals, because for me that is important in maintaining good digestion for myself. But if I really do need a snack, then I'll choose a piece of fruit that will hold me over until dinner. So you can choose some almonds or a piece of fruit or something that will, not too heavy, that will help you get to dinner. And then dinner should be no later than 7:30 p.m. Okay, and it should be a small meal. So again, we're flipping. In our culture, we tend to love having the big meal at dinner. So I'm inviting you to switch that, have the big meal at lunch, have a smaller meal at dinner, and again, sit for 5 to 10 minutes. And in the evening is a nice time after dinner to go for a gentle walk with family or by yourself, and enjoy the evening and help that peristalsis along. And so I did write all of this down on my whiteboard, and I will also have it in the notes. But just to review, breakfast before 8:30, small portion, just enough to get you to lunch. Sit for 5 to 10 minutes. Wait 3 to 4 hours before lunch, and at lunch should be between noon and 2 during the hottest part of the day. Biggest meal of the day. Sit for 5 to 10 minutes. lay on your left side for, you know, I say 15 to 20 minutes, but if all you've got is 5 or 10 minutes, that's great. And I do have my students, my paddling students, sometimes we do it on the river, and it's quite nice to relax in the middle of the day. And then perhaps you go for a gentle walk. Wait 3 to 4 hours again, dinner, no later than 7:30 p.m., small meal, sit for 5 to 10 minutes, and maybe go for a little walk. And again, no later than 7:30 because, as I mentioned, the breakfast is breaking fast. So we want 12 hours. So no evening snacking. Once you've had your dinner, it's time to let your digestive system process everything. So if you're used to having like a sweet snack before bed, go ahead and have a little sweetness with your dinner, right? All at once. And then no food until breakfast the next morning. So other ways to optimize your digestion along with meals is chew your food. So I'll just put this, maybe, yeah, I'll hold it over here. So go ahead and chew your food. Chew it multiple times. Like sometimes I count to 45 chews with each bite. Remember that digestion starts in your mouth. Yeah, there's an enzyme called amylase. I hope I'm saying that right. That's in our saliva, and when we chew, it's released in our saliva, and it helps to break down. It starts the breakdown of carbohydrates, and so breaking down those carbohydrates in our mouth with chewing is really important. It'll help the rest of our digestion. When we just chew like 1 or 2 times and then swallow a big piece of unchewed food, it really bogs down the digestive system. So chew your food. Be with your food. No multitasking. Okay, so this is also important. Smell your food. Enjoy your food. At the beginning of this video, I talked about how food is a gift. Really take that on. Really smell it and enjoy it and taste it. So we talked about relaxing. That's for rest and digest. Okay, this one is going to be, maybe it gets some resistance from a lot of you. No ice water. If you can, I'm inviting you to eliminate ice water, ice drinks. Ice is very cold and it hinders your digestion. Okay, so really think about only sipping warm water or warm drink with your meal, and also not drinking a lot with your meal. So this idea of like refillables and chugging water or chugging whatever you're chugging with your meal is not great for digestion. So imagine, again, you have your campfire and you douse it with a bunch of water, right? That campfire is going to go out. You're putting that campfire out by dousing it with liquid. Same thing for our digestive fire. So we want to sip water, warm water, ideally warm tea, with our meal so that we don't dilute the digestive juices in our stomachs. And so ideally we don't drink a lot 20 minutes before our meal, and we wait 20 minutes after our meal before we drink a large amount again, okay? So again, chew your food, be with your food, no multitasking, relax, rest and digest, reduce ice water, sip warm water with your meal and just a little bit, and don't drink a lot 20 minutes before or 20 minutes after your meal. Wait to consume a lot of liquids. So that is and I'll have all this in the notes as well. Put it up right here for you to see for a moment, and I'll have that in the notes. So that is optimizing digestion around meal times and meal routines. And I will see you. Oh, and my call to action. My call to action is to choose one or two of these mealtime routines. So maybe you choose chewing. Maybe you choose sitting for 5 to 10 minutes, okay? But only choose one or two things, whatever you feel is actually doable for you. Because in our culture, we have this tendency to all or nothing. I have to do it all super well or it's not worth it, right? I'll just throw my hands up and not try it at all. So it's okay to make one or two changes, to commit to one or two things. And when we are successful at those one or two things and we start to feel the benefits, then it leads to making more choices that have greater benefits, okay? So call to action, choose one or two things that you're going to commit to for your meal times today, if you're watching this with more meals to come in your day, or tomorrow if you're done with meal times for today. Thanks for taking this on. I know change is not easy and challenging. It puts us out of our comfort zone. That is the area of growth, right? Getting outside of our comfort zones is where we grow, is where we cultivate health and wellness, and it's really, really worth it. And you've got this. You got this. So great job committing to it. Go for it, and have fun with it. Until the next video.